everyone. I'm just going to take a few minutes to set up my IG live. Hello everyone. Welcome to Life's Journey with Benedicta. If today is your first time joining us, I would like you to hit the subscribe button. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/tastebudzng. So we have this show every Saturday, 7:30 or 8 p.m. West African time. So if you haven't watched our previous series, I would like you to go to our YouTube channel and watch all the series and let's discuss. You can ask those questions you've been meaning to ask, and if you have similar stories to tell you'd like to share with us, you can send me a DM or you can reach me on our Life Journey WhatsApp number. So let's discuss. That's what this channel is all about. We're here to tell our stories, one story at a time. We're here to support each other on our journeys through life. Life's Journey with Benedicta. So, on today's topic, we're going to be discussing consent. Consent. Is it a form of approval? Is it a form of consent? Silence, is it a form of consent, or it's a form of oppression? So today's topic is silence. Your silence over certain issues, should it be taken as a form of consent, or maybe it's just a form of oppression? Sometimes in life, we are expected to be silent. The situation demands us to be silent. For example, if you are to be in a funeral service where the atmosphere is serene and peaceful, people are deep in thoughts, you're expected to be introspective in a situation like that. You're not expected to speak. You're not expected to be loud. That is understood. But if you find yourself in a situation where you know you are supposed to speak up against a wrong, maybe it's injustice, maybe it's a form of abuse, and you remain silent. If you remain silent, then that is a show of cowardice. That is a show of your lack of strength, your inability to speak out. So it is important that we understand the difference when you're expected to be silent and when you are expected to speak out against a particular ill or an injustice. So on today's topic, we want to discuss when silence is inappropriate. I have a story I'm going to tell you about a lady. I have known her for a while now. She's married with some kids. I'm going to get to her story, and that is what piqued my interest concerning this topic. when should we be silent and when are we expected to speak out? And what are the things we do that makes people, or what are the things we do that make people think that our silence is a form of tolerance, or our silence is a form of acceptance? So let's discuss. Like I earlier said, there are instances when we should be silent, we're expected to be silent, and there are instances where we're expected to speak out. Remember, if our, how do I put it? If our voice is a form, or our voice, if our voice is a form, or is a form of is a type of our, how do I put it now? If we're supposed to speak out when we are being unjustly treated, and then we remain silent, that means a form of our humanity has been taken away from us, because our voice is a part of our humanity. Being able to speak out is a part of what makes us human. So when we have been rendered voiceless, we have become dehumanized. So we should understand the importance of being able to speak out when we should speak out. It is what makes us a human being, the ability to be able to speak. So we should never take this aspect for granted. It is a very vital part of our human nature, the ability to be able to speak. So do not allow anything to silence you. Don't allow anything. No matter how difficult it might seem, it is what makes you a human being, your ability to be able to speak out. Now, as a woman, if you find yourself in a relationship, or you find yourself in a situation where you're expected to be silent on issues that you are not pleased about, or issues that are not pleasant to you, because your society demands that, or your culture demands that, or the spouse or your partner in the relationship demands that, irrespective of the fact that you are not happy with the situation you find yourself, I want you to know this moment that you are being dehumanized. You might not know that. You might think that you're being silent is what is expected of you, but I want you to know today that you're being dehumanized. Your very essence as a human being is the ability to be able to speak. I remember 3 weeks ago, was it 3 weeks ago, a month ago, I made an announcement that we had 500,000 naira to assist small businesses, people that their businesses were destroyed in the wake of the protest. And while I was going about interviewing people, making them fill our questionnaires and seeing how we can send out the 50,000 naira to them, I thought of a particular lady that I have known for a long while. She has 4 children, she's married, and I know her marriage has been abusive, but to the degree in which it was what I found out this week, and it was really, really shocking. I have always known her as one of those women that would be thoroughly beat up by their husbands, and they would see it as normal, irrespective of what you tell her, how you tell her to look. You have to speak out, you have to talk to the police, You have to tell people about this. So I decided to reach out to help this lady with a sum of 50,000 naira because she has been frying akara and yams on the roadside, the street food in Nigeria. And lately she's been having problems with her eyesight, and she wanted to upgrade from using the local, what do you call it, wood, the charcoal to fry, to cook. So she wanted to upgrade to this industrial burners, the industrial burners that you can connect to a cylinder and fry. So I thought of giving her 50,000 naira, and I told her, look, send me your account details. I will send 50,000 naira to you. That way you can get this industrial burner, locally fabricated industrial burner, and you can upgrade your business. So she later got in touch with me, and she said she wanted me to give her a few days so she can activate her bank account. I said, no problem. Go ahead, activate your bank account. Get back to me and I will help you with the sum. So she got back to me the next day and said her husband wanted me to transfer the money to his own account. I also know the husband, so he spoke to me and he thanked me profusely, and he said it was okay, the wife's account is inactive and he has an account that I can transfer the money to his account, that he will ensure he gives it to the wife. So I asked him to give the wife the phone and let me find out if this is okay with the wife. And I spoke with the wife and she said, oh, it's perfectly all right that I can send the money to the husband, that he was going to give it to her. He was even going to assist her in getting the industrial burner and all of that. So I was a bit reluctant because I knew in the past that the man used to hit her. So I was a bit reluctant. But she was convinced, and she convinced me to go ahead and, give the man the money. So I did the transfer. A week later, I tried calling the man to ask about the business, if they've been able to get the burner. To cut a long story short, I couldn't get in touch with him. The phone he used to speak with me was the wife's phone. And so some days later, the wife called me up and with another person's phone and told me that she was going to send me pictures of herself, that the husband gave her a beating of her life and collected the entire sum. Upon withdrawal of the entire sum, he refused to give her the money for her business. And when she protested, he gave her the beating of her life, and even went as far as destroying the local burners she was initially using for the business, and locked her up in a room and asked her not to come out. So I asked how her kids were faring, if the children were eating. She said yes, that the relative, was taking care of the children, and that the phone the husband used in calling me was her phone. So I asked her, I said, why did you encourage me to pay the money into your husband's account, knowing that he was going to beat you up? And then she broke down in tears and she started telling me how she consented to that because if she didn't, he was going to hit her. If she did, which she did, he was still going to hit her and go away with the money. And that was how I got to understand that he had been pimping her for men in the past. Can you imagine? I couldn't believe what my ears was hearing, that a married man will pimp his own wife for other men. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. My Instagram live just came on now. Hello. Oh my God. I knew something was wrong, but I wasn't sure. Hi. Kizinto. Hello. Oh my goodness. Welcome to Life's Journey. Oh my goodness. So what do I do? So, welcome to Life's Journey. If today's your first time, hello everyone. Welcome to Life's Journey. If today's your first time joining in, I would like you to hit the subscribe button. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/tastebudzng. I might have to change my position because I think they're having an estate party and the song is going into my live feed. So I would like to change my sitting position. So guys, today's topic is consent. The noise is loud. Yes, I know the noise is loud. I'm so sorry about that. They're having an estate party. So I'm going to be very brief today so we can round off. So on today's topic, we all know anyway, before I start today's topic, we all know what the series is all about. The series is all about women, men, everyone coming out here to share their stories while we'll listen and we'll learn from it, because there isn't one person out there that doesn't have a story, and there isn't that person out there that hasn't made mistakes. If you have lived long enough, you would have made mistakes. So we're here to learn from each other's mistakes. We're here to learn from our stories. And if you have a story that is motivational, a story that can help someone out there, please feel free to join in and tell us your story. So that is what Life's Journey with Benedicta is all about. And on today's topic, consent. Is it a form of... The music is really loud. So we're here to find out, when we say yes, I consent, I mean, if we're silent on an issue, if we're silent on a matter, is it a form of consent, or are we oppressed? Are we oppressed when we say, yes, I do? Are we saying yes because we are oppressed? Is our silence a form of oppression or a form of consent? What piqued my interest on this topic is a lady I tried to help. I have known her for quite a while now. I tried to help her out with a sum of 50,000 naira so she can upgrade her business. She is a food she sells street food like akara, fried plantain, and all of those things. And she has been working with firewood, and she complained bitterly about having issues with her eyesight, and she would like to upgrade to using the locally fabricated gas top with the cylinder. So I tried to help her with that sum of money, and then she came up to me and told me that it was okay, I could transfer the money to her husband's account. And I have always known the husband to be a wife beater. So I was a bit uncomfortable with this, and I asked her, do you really want me to transfer this money to your husband? She said, oh yes. It's fine, you can do so. The husband even spoke to me and said it was okay, I can transfer the money to his account. So I went ahead and I transferred the money to his account. Fast forward, I was unable to contact the man a few days later to find out if he was able to buy the gas stove for the wife. I tried calling the wife, the number wasn't going through, and a few days later, the wife called me in tears, telling me that the husband withdrew the money and refused to give it to her. And when she confronted him about the money, he beat her up. She actually sent me pictures of her battered body. I immediately told her to make a report to the police station, that this was battery and she couldn't continue keeping quiet in that marriage. If you are in a relationship where your husband or your partner beats you up regularly, you should make a complaint. So this I told her, and she said now she's out of business because the husband destroyed even the locally constructed burner she was using to sell her street food, and he locked her up in a room. So I started thinking about it. So many people are out there, not just women, even men. They are actually consenting to things that they do not want to be a part of. They're actually silent on issues that they are concerned about, issues that they are not happy about. They are silent on those issues. And I want us to know this moment, that silence in a situation where you're actually supposed to speak out is the worst form of oppression. I do understand that there are instances where we ought to be silent. For example, if you are in a funeral ceremony and the environment calls for deep introspection, the environment calls for serenity, tranquility, you are expected to be quiet. But in a situation where you find that you are being oppressed, you are being bullied, injustice is being carried out, and you aren't happy about it, you have to speak out. I am here to remind us that the ability to speak is one of the things that makes us humans. So if you are rendered speechless, you are being dehumanized. The act of being rendered speechless or being oppressed and prevented from speaking out is an act of dehumanization. And we should stand up to that and say no to this. It is our right to be able to speak out when we are being unjustly treated. This is our right as a human. So you can imagine this lady being oppressed in her marriage to the point where she says yes to things she knows it's not going to work in her favor. She is silent and she is just doing the biddings of her husband to her own detriment. This isn't the kind of life we should live, and this isn't what we should encourage. Remember, when we are silent, we fund hypocrisies and lies. When we are silent about injustices, when we are silent about them, we make the perpetrators go unpunished. Our silence is what makes our abusers continue in their abusive ways. So we are the ones funding our oppressors by our refusal to speak out, by our refusal to speak up against the oppression. So if you know anyone around you that is being oppressed to the point where they are silent in matters where they should speak out, it is your responsibility to encourage them to speak out. You ought to encourage them to speak out. That way, you are preventing your abusers from continuing in that abusive manner. Speak out. Speak up for those that are weaker than you that cannot speak out. I know I have encouraged this woman to go to the police station and make a report. She cannot continue to remain in that marriage, in that relationship where the husband is consistently abusing her, consistently beating her up, and taking what belongs to her. She complained to me that the husband used to pimp her. Earlier on in the marriage, he used to pimp her. He used to take her to meet men to sleep with her. And if she refuses, he's going to beat her up. So going forward, she discovered that if she agrees to go with him to be pimped, he's going to cut money. And when the money is finished and he is broke, he's going to come back in his drunken state and he's still going to beat her up. When she discovered this, she stopped going with him. She stopped accepting to be pimped by him. She was never happy being pimped by him in the first place. But she did it, according to her, what she told me, she did it because she was afraid of the beating that she was going to get if she doesn't accept to be pimped. But over the years, she discovered that it was a damn you do, damn you don't situation, and she stopped going along with him. Because if she accepted for him to pimp her, he was going to beat her up when the money was finished. And if she doesn't accept for him to pimp her, he was still going to beat her up. Now, this is a woman that has 4 children for him. She has 4 children for him. Can you imagine the level of oppression? Can you imagine the level of oppression? Can you imagine what some women are actually going through in their marriages? You have a husband that beats you up at the slightest provocation. He pimps you for people to sleep with. He's constantly taking your business proceeds. Whatever money you make from your business, he takes it. You buy a phone for yourself, he takes it. She is practically living in bondage. And I told her I was afraid for her life. Because, she can't continue like this. It's only a matter of time before, God forbid, we hear she's dead or she is terribly injured. So please, if you know people or anyone in your locality that is going through life like this, it isn't healthy. It is your responsibility to speak up for those that cannot speak up, for those that have been oppressed to the point where they are vegetables. They have been bullied to the point where they have lost their entire self-worth. It is your duty to speak up for them. Help them find themselves once again. Just like I intend doing with this woman. She has gone through so much. She is trying to speak up for herself. But there is something I want to tell us all. It is so difficult. If you have subjected yourself to being abused for such a long period in time, it becomes very difficult for you to stand up for yourself. I know some of you might be upset. Initially, when I heard the story, I was upset. Not upset with her, but I was upset with the whole situation. Why would someone subject themselves to such a low level where you are abused, you are pimped, you are beaten, the proceeds from your business is taken away from you, your cell phone is constantly taken away from you. She said each time she saves up and she buys herself a cell phone, the husband takes it away from her. You can imagine the level of oppression. You want to be helped, you want to be assisted. Somebody wants to assist your business, and your husband bullies you to the point where you accept for the money to be paid into his own account. That isn't life. Thank you, Rukiat. Thank you so much. Thank you. So please, let us be our brother's keeper. Charity, they say, begins at home. Let us start from where we live and help people that are undergoing oppression. It might be a man, it might be a woman. If they are undergoing oppression to the point where they are silent over all issues, please speak up for them. Maybe when you speak up for them once, twice, 3 times, they might find their own voice and begin to stand up for themselves. So that is what I wanted to talk to you about today. And please, 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 it isn't enough that we just come, listen, and go. I want us to make a decisive decision today that we are going to speak up for ourselves if we are confronted with a situation that we do not find pleasing, a situation that isn't favorable to us. We are going to speak up, no matter what it's going to cost. And if you have someone in your locality, in your home, in your environment that has been oppressed to the point where they have lost their voice, speak up for them. Yes, Leggy is even worse than colonial slave situation. A situation whereby you are the breadwinner, don't get me wrong. This woman is the breadwinner. She caters for her 4 children and her jobless husband. He beats her up, he pimps her, he takes all the proceeds of her business, and yet she is unable to make a police report. She is too scared to make a police report. But I hope this wouldn't be the case in the next 2 months, because we're working on something. We're working on something to help liberate her from that situation. So thank you all for watching, and remember, this is Life's Journey with Benedicta. If you are joining us for the first time, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/tastebudzng. We have about 17 series or 17 episodes that we have done on this show. You can catch up on it. And if you do have questions, feel free to hit me up on my DM, in my DM, and you can also drop your comments in the comment section. Life Journey has a WhatsApp phone line. You can also send us your messages on our WhatsApp phone line. And if you do have a story that you would like to share with us, please feel free to share your stories with us. Your ability to tell your story is what liberates you. Your ability to share your story with the world is what sets you free. So please make a decisive decision today to live a happy, free life. You aren't a slave to anyone. So do have a lovely weekend, everyone, and thank you for joining in. Bye-bye. God bless you, sis. God bless you too, Rukiat. Yes, this is an empowerment program for women, Rukiat. It is. We're here to empower women. We're here to support them emotionally, financially, on their journeys through life. So if you do have an issue you'd like to share with us, please, I am all ears and I'm right here. We're here to support each other. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye. I will say hello to Daddy Freeze.